This is Duke University.
Global trade and environmental justice.
Human rights issues are still.
The term Ubuntu.
The Alien and Sedition Acts.
Is making inferential discovery.
The importance of an archive.
The John Hope Franklin Center.
Okay, so the scandal is there's all these generic things about it, yet it's also distinctive in its own ways. First of all, Tiger's he's a big fish. And the bigger the fish, the more of an echo chamber and more of an echo scandals tend to have. And there was also this sense of surprise. You know, we thought we knew Tiger, the upstanding family man. There was always this racialized discourse about Tiger's always been a role model. He's never been in trouble with the law. And it's sort of an unspoken kind of racialized counterpoint to the idea of all the other black athletes who were in trouble with the law, you know, as if white athletes weren't, you know, getting busted all the time too. And in fact, you know, what we knew was Tiger the brand, and we thought we knew Tiger the person, we knew Tiger the brand. And part of the appeal of scandal is always that it seems to pull back the curtain and show us what the celebrity is really like. And here it seemed to pull back the curtain and show us somebody that we didn't much like, you know, a creep, a hypocrite, somebody who'd been lying and cheating on his wife, and not the role model icon we thought he was. So the scandal was distinctive just because Tiger was a major celebrity. The scandal is also distinctive because of the racial politics that went around it. Now the question of race has a kind of history with Tiger. Some of you may remember right after he wins the Masters, he goes on Oprah's couch and he calls himself, he says, I identify as a Cablinasian. What he meant by that was Caucasian, because his dad had some white ancestry, black through his dad Earl, Indian, Cablin, Indian, Native American, because his dad had some Cherokee ancestry, at least claimed to, and then Asian through his mom, Kultida, who's from Thailand. So, you know, this statement that Tiger's a Cablinasian, think of the year. It's 1997. It's in the lead up to the 2000 census, when for the first time Americans are allowed to mark multiple boxes in the census. In other words, not to just say, you know, white, black, Asian, Pacific Islander, but to mark multiple categories. And there's a big debate about this because some civil rights activists and intellectuals say this is a problem because the reality is that society does work by the one drop of blood rule, that if you have any black ancestry, that makes you black. And so we need to recognize that fact and to maintain a kind of black solidarity around the idea of equal rights and justice for African Americans, and not to sort of split off into these ideas of multiracialism. So in this critical view of multiracialism, you know, multiracialism or calling yourself a Cablinasian sort of viewed as just passing, sort of this idea that Tiger is a self-hating black man or another black man who won't really acknowledge his real identity. And there's some very mean things that are said about Tiger. Dave Chappelle does this pretty hilarious racial draft skit where Chappelle plays Tiger and mispronounces Cablinasian, kind of Cablinasian, and he's sort of very much poking fun at this idea of Cablinasian. So it's everywhere thing from Chappelle to Colin Powell, who chastises Tiger and says, in America, which I dearly love, being Colin Powell, I had to say that, when you look like me, you're black. So here you have this sort of that Tiger's, you know, this Cablinasian is being made fun of and stuff, but it's actually part of a debate about multiracialism as against the one drop of blood rule. And it's interesting to consider Tiger and Obama again in this context, because Obama makes a different choice. He always calls himself a black man of mixed heritage. So he plays within the rules of the one drop of blood rule in the sense, you know, if an alien came from outer space, they might say, well, Obama had a white mother, you know, couldn't he just as well call himself a white man of mixed heritage but you know, that's not how race works in America. It works by the one drop of blood rule. And Obama in his personal life does all of this stuff to kind of maintain this idea of friends from all walks of life and stuff. But he also, and he writes about this in Dreams from My Father, does stuff to kind of consolidate his blackness. He marries a black woman, he joins a black church, he works in inner city Chicago. Tiger, on the other hand, is sort of this multiracial positioning, where he really doesn't do anything to try to authenticate or whatever his blackness. He marries a white Swedish woman, his caddy is a white New Zealander, he's traveling, he's playing on this, he doesn't belong to any specifically African American organizations. And so, yeah, he's positioning himself in this quite different way from Obama.
Produced by Duke University. Online at duke.edu.